So today we're going to dive into a pretty powerful idea, the promise of becoming a completely different person in just 1 month. And I know it sounds like total clickbait, but what we're about to break down is an actual system for a total reinvention.
So let's just start with this. I want you to really think about it for a second. What if, 1 month from today, you had entirely new habits, a new way of thinking, a completely different level of confidence? We're not talking about some distant future. We're talking about right now.
And this is the absolute key. This isn't about some temporary burst of inspiration or watching a hype video to get you fired up for an afternoon. No, this is an actionable step-by-step plan. It's a system that works because it's built on things you do, not things you just feel.
You know, this quote, it just hits right at the core of the problem, doesn't it? For so many of us, it's not our actual life that's the issue. It's the version of ourselves we keep bringing to it every single day. The same old routines, the same excuses, that feeling of being stuck. Well, this system is designed to shatter that cycle.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Week 1. Before you can build a new skyscraper, you gotta tear down the old rickety building, right? That's what this is all about. It's deconstruction, creating a clean slate to build something amazing on.
The first move is what the source calls an identity funeral. And yeah, it sounds dramatic, but it is so powerful. It means you literally write down all the habits, all the excuses, all the parts of yourself that are keeping you small. And then, and this is the crucial part, you stop defending them. You stop saying, oh, that's just how I am. You make a conscious decision that that version of you is done.
The second action for this week is all about quieting the noise so you can finally hear yourself think. I mean, look at what our brains are usually full of. Just endless scrolling, drama, useless junk. For 7 days, the goal is to cut that out. It's going to feel boring, and that's the whole point, because boredom is where clarity is born.
All right, so we've torn down the old structure. Now it's time to start building. Week 2 is all about taking that clean slate and starting to lay the foundation for the new you. This is where we start building momentum.
And you don't need some huge motivational surge to do it. All you need is to get 1% better every day. It's such a small number, it almost feels like cheating, right? But it's the key to building unstoppable momentum without burning out. Just 1% a day, and in a year, you're almost 38 times better. That is the insane power of compounding.
So what does this 1% actually look like? It's almost laughably simple. Just 10 minutes of learning something new. 10 minutes of moving your body. 10 minutes of planning out your day. These are so small that you have zero excuse to skip them, but they're powerful enough to build into massive, life-altering change.
Now here's the hack. This is the thing that puts you way ahead of 90% of people. Stop trying to rely on willpower. It's a battery that runs out. Instead, just change your environment. Engineer it so that you win by default. Put your phone in another room when you sleep. Don't buy junk food in the first place. Make the good choices easy and the bad ones a pain. It's a total game changer.
Okay, so the outside actions are starting to become habits. Now, in week 3, we turn inward. We go to the battlefield of the mind. Your environment is changing, your habits are changing. Now it's time to upgrade your internal operating system to match.
This is all about rewriting that script that's constantly playing in your head. You catch that negative thought, like, I'm lazy. But you don't replace it with a lie. You replace it with a truth that has potential. See the difference? I'm lazy is a dead end. It's a judgment. But I haven't built discipline yet. Well, that's a starting line. It's a call to action.
So let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. What's the one thing that just popped into your head? That conversation you need to have, that project you're putting off, that resistance you feel, that's not a stop sign. It's a compass. It is pointing you directly to your next level of growth. Do that one thing, and you'll get an instant, massive confidence boost. And here we are, the home stretch. Week 4 is where all that internal work you've been doing starts to bubble up to the surface and become visible to the outside world. This last phase is all about locking in the change and letting the results do all the talking.
This might be the most important part of the entire process, and it's going to feel a little weird. The secret is you say nothing. You work in silence. You don't post about your new routine. You don't talk about how you're changing. You don't look for applause. You just quietly, consistently put in the work.
Because when you do the work in private, the proof starts to show up from the outside. At first, it'll be subtle. Someone will look at you and just say this, and then it'll get a little more direct. People who know you well will start to notice that there's just a fundamental shift in your energy, in your focus. And this This is the moment of confirmation, when the change is so real, so undeniable, that people are just genuinely curious. This is the external proof that the internal system actually worked.
So, how do you make sure all this hard work sticks? You have to consciously lock in this new identity. You don't just hope it lasts, you state it to yourself. I am the type of person who works out every morning. I am the type of person who reads every day. And then you spend every single day after that just collecting evidence to prove that statement is true.
And really, that brings us to the final choice. The clock is ticking. The next 30 days are going to pass by no matter what you do. The only question is, when you wake up a month from now, are you going to meet the same person you're tired of being, or are you going to meet someone new?
The challenge is laid out. Disappear into the process for 1 month. Do the work in private, and come back a completely different person. The blueprint is right here. The rest? Well, that's up to you.